Why'd you count down like you was about to record?
Because I
So,
forgot I wasn't recording, Pedigo.
yeah, you usually do that before you press record there.
No, I don't.
No, like normal people do. You use just like three and then stop.
I didn't mean
So
to.
you count down after you hit record?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mad Dogs podcast. Today is Monday, February 7th. Yep, sure is. And if you notice, it is kind of empty today, isn't it? It is me, Pedigo, and Hitch. Avery and Bond were swamped with homework, allegedly. Avon was out of town, and JoJo, I think, had a broken computer. So it's just going to be us three today. But that doesn't mean what you. Yeah, he's still upset about the Packers. It's been 2 weeks now, 3 weeks, or whatever the hell it's been. But that doesn't mean there will be any less content on this podcast today. We hope you have a wonderful week before listening to this. And also, if you're listening on Spotify, we appreciate you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you for watching. And we're just glad to have you along with us. Today might be a little bit of a shorter episode. We might only go an hour today just because we only have us three, but we couldn't not record a podcast. And we had to have an episode out today because we're not letting anybody down. So, okay. There's a couple things I want to talk about. And I kind of want to start with, I was going to start with golf, but we're going to change the subject here. There were two kind of mess ups today in sports as a whole, not like as one person, not as like one play. This is kind of like as a whole. And I want to start with the NFL Pro Bowl that happened today. It was I mean, I watched a little bit of it, but it almost got unwatchable. At one point, they were playing two-hand touch. It looked like the defenses didn't even want to be out there. I think the final was 41-35. Like, it was just a shit show. It was ugly. And it just kind of goes to show you that no one cares about the Pro Bowl, and either they should do away with it or try to do something different because it's not fun to watch. It's not pleasing to
So
the eyes.
as far as the actual games goes, I could care less if they stop playing it or not. But I do like watching the little challenges they do throughout the week. It's kind of fun, like the dodgeball and like the skills challenge. But if I think it'd be honestly like better if they just did that instead of just playing the game too. Like if you just took the game out, I don't think Pro Bowl would be as hated as much as it is because obviously they don't want to be out there. So
Like, it
why even
really,
play it?
yeah,
I
it
mean,
really didn't look like any of them wanted to be out there. And you
yeah.
have big names out there, and people want to see like crazy catches and crazy plays, but like they maybe go like 50 to
Hmm.
60%, maybe.
In
I
my
want to
opinion,
say
they should just give them like the accolade of being Pro Bowl and just leave it at that because that's just a
yeah.
waste of fucking time.
Yeah.
I just
Um.
want to say real quick. Let me see if I can find it. I want to say the ticket price of a Pro Bowl game.
It should be free, honestly.
Yeah. While you
All
are,
right. Well,
go
it's
ahead.
like it starts out at like $72. Honestly, it's cheaper than what I thought it would be.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it's so star-studded. Like you have a ton of names there. Like, you would think that they would care more about it. And yeah, like if you don't want to risk injury and do stuff like that, like Pedigo, you said, like, why don't we do the skills competition all in one day? Let everybody have a good time for a day. Don't space it out a week because no one
Yeah.
cares. Like, why not just do that?
Yeah. I
It,
mean, I went back and watched some of them from this week.
Mhm.
I mean, they're fun to watch.
Because football is such a contact sport. Like, if you look at baseball, basketball, and anything like that, hockey, like hockey, you can still score crazy goals without having to hit people, right? Basketball, you can just throw up crazy shots. Baseball, I mean, you got such star studs. Like, those guys either want to hit nukes or you want to see guys throw 105 miles an hour. Like, so those three are not really a big deal. But these guys are scared of injury, and rightfully so, because it is a very injury prone
Right.
sport. Um, so maybe try to do something like a little 7-on-7 thing, or where nobody's hurting anybody, like, and you still have the risk of like a non-contact injury, but you have that in every sport, to be honest. So,
How
Yeah.
many how many guys make the Pro Bowl every year?
oh, I don't know. Um, There
I
were
figure
three.
it's probably about 30 for each team if you count reserves and stuff, right?
It's got to be more than that, right? Because you have 3 quarterbacks and 3 running backs alone.
Shit. And you got 22 total positions, right?
Probably 2 to 3 for each.
Not counting long snappers and special teams.
Yeah.
Heck, it might be 45 each team,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't you get like 5 or 6, like 7-on-7 teams from each side and have like a little tournament? That would be fun to watch too.
Yeah. Yeah. Look what we're doing. We're like helping.
Anything. Like literally anything is better than that. I'd rather see them play 5-on-5 basketball tournament than that.
Honestly, the coolest thing to happen today during the Pro Bowl was when Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Diggs was playing against each other on opposite sides of the ball. Stephon was playing corner and Trayvon was playing wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm just disappointed that didn't happen in the Super Bowl.
That would have been cool.
That would have been.
It would have been.
Or isn't gonna happen in the Super Bowl.
Not this year, anyways, right?
Yeah, not this year. There's always next year.
There you go. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting because like, who were the quarterbacks? Wasn't it like Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray?
I'm pretty sure every single one of them threw an interception today.
Yeah, which I mean, it makes sense.
Which is kind of sad.
Well, you're playing the best defensive players in the league, and now they're all on one team, so it's not like shocking. But I think a 7.
They literally are standing there.
I think a 7-on-7 tournament would be dope. To be honest. 7-on-7 is like really cool about football in general.
And you ain't got a tackle. So
yeah, and let the linemen play, let the linemen be quarterback or wide receiver or something like that. That would be funny. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's very upsetting to see that.
I mean, it's a joke right now, honestly. Like,
has it ever been this bad though? Like what it was today?
No, I mean it's gradually gotten worse too.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with the NBA too. Like,
well, at least you got people like throwing up crazy dunks and crazy shots, and there's a lot of scoring. But like, there's no competitiveness of the Pro Bowl. Like, at least in the NBA, like, still, like, both offenses are so good that they're both going to put up 200 points, which is fine. Like, it is what it is. And in baseball, it's like, all right, this dude is a dog on the mound, but this dude like does not get out, so we get to see those matchups.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, football.
Don't they win money in the NBA one though? I thought that was. I know a couple of years ago it was like that, wasn't it?
You might have incentives if like you win MVP or something like that.
Yeah, but I think
you got to incentivize it, like give them an incentive to actually get out there and play, or you just got to get creative with it and find something that's entertaining for viewers.
I agree because I mean there can't be that many people who actually watch that today. You had the final round of the Pebble Beach on. You had the clash at the Coliseum, which we'll talk about that in a second, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just disappointing, because there's so many good players there, and they just don't care, and they don't even play that well. So
I figure something will be brought up though, because I mean we're not the only ones saying it. Like they've got professional athletes and even people that's in the NFL now come out and said today like this is a joke. I think JJ Watt said something like he's seen walkthroughs more intense than this game today.
Yeah,
it's frustrating, because I mean it is what it is though. I mean it has one of the best, like, I don't know, like you have your most name stars, like household names and everything compared to baseball and basketball. I personally think that, but it definitely has the worst All-Star weekend and, or like All-Star type deal, because I don't know. I know y'all said y'all didn't watch the hockey one, but I will say that the shootout thing that the hockey does is literally awesome. I think it's one of the coolest things, like, because you know how hard it is to score on a goalie, and then you just see crazy shots. It rivals the dunk contest, I think. And it takes a lot of skill. I don't think people realize how hard hockey actually is and puck control. And then NHL's is really good. I think NBA's is good. I think the dunk contest has declined in the last couple of years. I think
sure.
less people want to do it. But you still have a couple good ones this year that I think can, kind of do whatever.
Yeah, and the thing with the NBA and MLB All-Star game is like the game itself ain't the only big event happening that weekend.
Yeah.
Like it seems like NFL, that's the only thing they care about.
Yeah.
You got the home run derby in MLB, and then you've got the 3-point and dunk contest in basketball. So
yeah. Yeah, that's what I was about to get to. Like the MLB Home Run Derby is awesome. And you see big names in that every year. This year with Shohei Ohtani, the face of baseball. So yeah, I would think that they change it. I think they have to after this year. Because like even as an NFL thing, you can't sit there and like, oh well, they're not getting hurt. You're like, dude, why are we here? Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Why did we come this way? Where did they play it this year? Was it in Las Vegas this year?
wherever Alvin Kamara got arrested, I assume.
I thought they did it in Hawaii every year. Did they not?
They used to do it every year, but I think I saw a commercial that it was in
It was Las Vegas.
Stadium.
Las Vegas.
Yeah, okay. That would make sense that Alvin Kamara got arrested there. Can't argue with that. All right. Okay, let's move on. I know y'all didn't watch it, but let's move on to another deal that probably should have had different rules or something. The Clash at the Coliseum for NASCAR. It gets you set up for the year. And I really think there was no need to put it at the Coliseum. I don't know if it was for a bigger brand, but a racing track for NASCAR should not be a mile or a quarter of a mile long around. They couldn't even get up to full speed.
Yeah.
To go because they're turning the track can't be a quarter of a mile. I think it makes sense. Why? I don't understand it really.
Yeah, I don't get their whole idea behind that neither. I mean, Martinsville is what, a half a mile.
Yeah, it's a little less than a half, and then you got Bristol.
And then it still races slower. Both of them do.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why you'd put one down to a quarter of a mile with machines that go above 200 miles an hour. It don't make sense.
Yeah. I will say congrats to Joey Logano. But I think the favorite dude, the dude that was supposed to win, he finished. I think he started second. I can't remember his name. I'll look at it in a minute, but I can't remember his name. But he went out later, mid race, 50th lap or something. But Joey Logano ended up winning. I know him and Kyle Busch were at the plant the whole time. But there's no need for a track that small. I think it's a waste of time as well. I think you can find Bristol. Bristol's kind of fun. It's a little bit bigger and it's a bit narrow. It's a narrow track as well. But I'm pretty sure they only had 20 racers today, which what's the point in that anyways, when in the normal race you have 42. So
right. So that's what I didn't know it was only 20. I was like, how in the world are they going to fit 42 race cars on this damn track?
It was 20, and literally more than half of the track was taken up by cars at a time because it was you basically had to be in a single file line. And it looks stupid, but I mean, if that's what they want to do, I know what's the race that starts off the year every year? Is it Daytona?
It's that or Talladega, is it not?
Yeah. It's one of the two. So I imagine that will be next week or the week after. It probably won't be next week because next week's Super Bowl. And I don't think anything's trying to compete with the Super Bowl right now. But
it's Daytona.
Okay, Daytona.
It's the 500, ain't it?
Yeah. When's the date?
February 17th.
Yeah, so the week. No, wait. Yeah, that's the week after. Yeah. Oh, that'll be opening weekend for college baseball.
Yep.
Nice. But yeah, so that's kind of the two things that were really I don't know if the Pro Bowl was really advertised as much, but I know the Clash at the Coliseum was because I saw commercials all the time. And they were both a letdown, to say the least. I really don't understand the quarter of a mile track. I'm
not gonna lie, I forgot the Pro Bowl was even going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I lied. Daytona 500.
I looked at Twitter and they're like, "Don't even watch this." They're like, "It's pathetic." So I was like, "Okay, I'll just watch Netflix.
It's the 20th for the 500. I don't know. Blue Green Vacations Duel. I don't know what that is. And then there's a day 2 for it too. I don't know if that's not NASCAR or if it's the other one that they race.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. But that is opening weekend for college baseball, and we'll have a preview for college baseball when we do that, because we have to, because we love baseball. So yeah, those two were kind of annoying. I don't think they should have happened. I mean, the Clash at the Coliseum, I get it, like the clashes every year, but why not do it at the bigger track to where they can run it? So why you're advertising it on a Sunday where there's not really a lot of sports, and you go out and do that, and it's real. Like the intro, I guess, was okay, but for the most part, it wasn't really anything.
Did you watch it?
I watched the first like 30 laps, but at that point, I was like, dude, they literally can't do anything. Like, I'm looking for guys to pass each other on like turns after they're going 190 miles an hour, and they can go maybe 60 here. It was really dumb.
Yeah.
It was really dumb. Okay, let's move on to the good stuff. The good stuff that happened this weekend. Okay, let's talk about. I want to talk about the Saudi International first, because it ended first. If you're listening to this and you don't like golf, then you'll like this story because this was crazy. So I'll wrap up what happened at the end. Final hole, I believe, is a par 5. The 18th is a par 5. Bubba Watson was ahead on Harold Varner by a stroke, and Harold Varner put it on the green, but not really close to the hole. It was about a 90-foot putt that he had to do from one side to the other to even make an eagle. But all he needed was a birdie to tie Bubba Watson and go to a playoff hole. I imagine he was just trying to get it close enough to make the birdie putt, but he went ahead and sank a 90-footer for eagle to beat Bubba Watson. Harold Varner III, if you don't know about him, his dad used to take him to golf competitions and watch Tiger Woods. And Tiger would have been very proud of that putt, to say the least. And Harold Varner won the Saudi International. And it was pretty cool. If you haven't seen the video, I recommend that you go check it out. Dude went nuts. Rightfully so. A 90-foot putt to win a tournament internationally has got to be huge. It's got to be a huge boost. And he played very well this weekend. You know, there weren't a lot of high scores. I mean, he won at 13 under. And we'll talk about Pebble Beach, who had higher scores, not by much, but they did, on a very hard course. I don't know much about the Saudi International course that they played at, but congrats to Harold Varner on a crazy, crazy way to win.
You want to hear something crazy? So he was in third place before that, okay? Or was he in second? He was in second. That last putt made him $475,000.
Damn. $500,000 putt right there. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bubba Watson ended up getting $525.
Damn. Bubba Watson. I mean, if you're Bubba, though, like, are you mad?
No, he went. I actually watched the highlight earlier. He ran up to it was like congratulating. He was like, dude, that was freaking awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I would be too. Even if I lost that much money, which Bubba's already made enough money anyways. Like, Bubba's made money. But, like, if you see your opponent like that, and he's probably, I mean, Harold Varner seems like a good guy too. So a guy that you can root for, and you go watch him do something like that, you got to be like, dude, that's awesome. Good for that, dude. Like, I wouldn't have been even able to contain my emotion if I made a 90-foot putt, like playing with you, and to do that and make $475,000 just for that putt. I mean, that's 90 feet's a tough 3 putt, let alone make it on the first shot. Like,
that's a tough 4 putt for me, at least.
Yeah, congrats to that dude. It's tough to go overseas, especially to a place like Saudi, who's got a way different time zone, and go over there and win the tournament. And I would imagine he takes a weekend off. I know I would, to travel back. But I mean, hey, if you're riding a streak like this, why not go and play another one, right? But good for him. Good for him. I mean, with the amount of names that were over there, you expected somebody else. I mean, you can never be too sure with golf, right? I mean, there's somebody that just has a good weekend and they come out of nowhere. And I'm not saying Harold Varner was a nobody before this, but he's a name that you have to know golf to know the name. I mean, he's no
I didn't know who he was.
He's no Rory, he's no Phil Mickelson, he's nobody like that. But it's awesome to see somebody like that win one. Especially a guy who watched Tiger Woods his whole life, and now he's making putts like that. Like I said, that would make Tiger proud. But let's go. Let's move to the one on the PGA Tour. That was the Asian Tour. The PGA Tour. They played the Pebble Beach Pro-Am this weekend. And Pebble Beach is not an easy course by any means. I think we all know that. It's a very difficult course on the edge of the ocean. So you got to be careful with your shots. And I think Patrick Cantley was leading after 3 rounds, I think, but it might have been somebody else. But I know when I turned it on today, when it came on at 2:00 on CBS, Patrick Cantley was leading and there was a 4-way tie. And I turned it off on about the 11th hole or the 10th hole. And Jordan Spieth was tied for the lead. And the next thing I see, he's 2 shots ahead going into like the 14th hole. And then he ended up losing by 2 strokes. Yeah. So I don't know. I like Jordan Spieth, but he did a lot of things well today. I mean, Pedigo mentioned it earlier. I mean, he was putting shots within 10 feet of the hole, and he somehow just didn't execute when he needed to. And I think his name's Tim Hoagie. Did I get that right?
Hoagie.
I do know it's Hoagie, and the only reason I know that is because I heard him say it today. Tom Hoagie. He ended up winning the Pebble Beach Pro-Am at 19 under, which is, I mean, pretty good for Pebble Beach through a weekend.
Yeah, that's through what, 3 rounds?
For any course, even for PGA, that's insane.
Yeah, so good for him. But Jordan Spieth must be talked about because, dude, like, I don't see how he didn't ride that one home.
Y'all see that massive draw he saw on that iron shot?
Mm-mm.
I didn't see
it was absolutely insane. He was probably like 200 out, hit a massive ass draw, perfect speed and everything, loaded on in.
Yeah. Another thing while watching this today, like a lot of these guys, when you watch them play, like you think about when we're out there playing, like when they miss, they don't miss by a lot. Like, I mean, their bad shots are like 10 times different than our bad shots. Like their bad shots are our good shots. It's ridiculous, like how much difference.
Our bad shots change. They're like, I'm 20 feet from the hole.
Yeah.
It just makes you realize how hard golf is.
Yeah, like they're just off the green on a very difficult approach. We're like, hell yeah, we reached it.
Yeah. Not only that, but this is a difficult course. I mean, we can state it like over and over, but Pebble Beach is not an easy course to play at all.
Right.
Okay, just think about it this way. So, where was it that they played last weekend?
They played at Farmers Insurance. Where was it? What?
I forgot that course name.
Dang it! Hold up.
But just say the winner won at what, 15 under?
Yeah.
You had 5 guys at that or better.
Torrey Pines is where they played.
Torrey Pines, yeah, that's right.
Yep. Nice.
So
I got a question about the PGA Tour.
Scores. You go ahead.
When they play, like every weekend they play or every tournament that they play, is it always more than 1 round, or do they have tournaments where it's just 1 round? Like you got to be better every that round.
I feel like they might have event. I think they have events sometimes where it's just like a day, but I don't think that they have like actual, like at least anything that's like qualifying them for anything.
And I got another question about it. So as far as these rounds go, I know the person that wins, obviously you got to play well all weekend to win the whole thing. But like if you go out one day and play better than everybody else and you win that one round, I wonder if they get money off that round.
I don't think so.
All right, so if you don't win the whole tournament, you don't get anything.
No.
Well, I mean, do they have like a certain like a deadline, or not a deadline, but like a line that you have to be across to make money that weekend? Like a certain position you got to be in.
The purse, I think, and then what they're willing to everybody.
Yeah, so I'm on the ESPN app right now, and I don't know how many players it is. I think if you're not top like 75 or 100, you don't get a payout.
Yeah.
And they also got certain tournaments that you got to finish a certain position to qualify for other tournaments too, correct?
Yeah, that gets to the end. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like probably about like the bottom 100 or so, maybe more, don't get nothing, and then I think it's if you make it to the second day, you get 17,000.
There you go. Just
and then it goes up from there.
Okay.
Oh man, I could shoot it even and make it to the second day, right?
No, you could not.
Yeah, you're right. Especially not at Pebble Beach. God. I just hit a ball and I turn back to the caddy and be like, ball me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to say top 75 or 100 though get paid.
That's also another thing. Being a caddy has to be like one of the coolest jobs in sports.
Well, most of those caddies are very knowledgeable.
Well, like I think most of them are going to be like people like that the golfers knew before they become professional golfers too.
Yeah.
So like, but I mean, the caddy helps out a lot. I mean, you're right.
Half of them caddies are damn good golfers too.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're probably like some of those guys that are like on the verge of being like, or used to be on the verge of being like PGA, and then they might have just been like a real good swing coach or stuff like that, being able to read greens and stuff. So,
but I know it's a pretty big job to have for most of these golfers. I figured they go out and watch practice rounds on these other golfers too. That way, when they can come back, they'll be like, "Look, this guy hit it this one way, and the ball ended up here. We need to do something different."
Yeah, yeah, for sure. They might go play they might go play that. You never, because I don't really know. I don't know if these guys go play like a practice round, like kind of fun round before the weekend. So like you have the practice round, or you might go play with the caddy the weekend, like a day before that, maybe play 9 or something.
I don't know if they'll do that just because, like, just think, because most of these courses they're walking, right? Or you have to walk on all these courses, right?
Most of the PGA is walking.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, like I watch foreplay or whatever, and like they're like, no, dude, we can't do a 5-week or a 5-day golfing thing. He's like, maybe 4, but like 5. They're talking about how like they can't hardly do it, like just because it's so physically, it's the physical toll on their body is so bad.
Which people don't understand that. If you don't play golf, dude, golfing's hard, especially on your back and hips, just the way you have to move them. Yeah, it's
and that's not even counting the walking, because that's a lot of walking.
Yeah, I mean you're walking. If you did the yards of the course, right? That's how many yards you walked, not counting in between holes into the clubhouse.
Right.
Is it not normally like a typical golf course is what, 7,500 yards?
Yeah,
7,400, somewhere around there probably.
So if you did that in the miles, which yards to mile, that's 1,280 yards in the mile. I believe that's right.
So that's 5 miles.
Yeah, every day. So that's 4 straight days, and the practice round. So that's 5 straight days. So 25 miles.
That's why they say you don't hardly see too many fat golfers unless you're John Daly, I guess.
John Daly.
Or Pat Perez.
Yeah.
But speaking of Pat Perez, what about his second top 10 finish?
Oh, where did he play this weekend? Was it in
Pebble? Played at Pebble Beach. Yeah.
Yeah, what did he finish at? I saw his name come up a couple of times.
It was tied for 9th.
Nice. What was he finish at? Like what was
13 under.
Nice. I saw his
Yeah.
name. He came up a couple of times. He came up a couple of times. Huh, nice.
And Cantley was up there last weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, Cantley was up there last weekend. He was also in first for a long part of this day, probably first 7-8 holes, at least
So
tied.
he fell apart.
And I wouldn't say he fell apart. It was really Spieth got hot, and then Spieth
Mhm.
fell apart.
So was Hoagie up there towards the top all weekend? Because I didn't watch.
Hoagie was always there, right? So like I remember a lot of the guys were at 14 under, and I remember him being at like 13 or 12 under. Like he was right there.
Yeah.
And he had a good stretch of 4 or 5 holes where every time I saw it, I was like birdie, birdie. I was like, okay, he's in this. Pretty sure he got tied for the lead at like 16 under with Spieth, and he just catapulted. He had a really great back half. And what did he shoot today?
I think he shot.
He shot a 68.
4 under.
Yeah,
today?
so 4 under.
So he just played
see
well.
what helped Hoagie out a lot, which he was kind of he was the exact opposite of Spieth, but his first round he shot a 63.
Oh, yeah, that'll help.
So he was 5 strokes ahead of like Spieth after round 1, but then Spieth had that incredible day 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So
that'll kind of do it though, right? So
yeah,
dude, those big. So yeah, good first days, good last days, but really you make your money in the second and third day. It's how you can do it. Because the first day is always like, okay, it's first day, let's do good. But
you're really trying to get a feel of the course.
Yeah.
At that point.
The second and third day, you're like looking. You're like, hey, everybody around me is kind of fading. Let's make some moves on the second and third day, and then that way, last day, I don't have to play perfect golf. I can just be at a 3 under and still have a chance to win this thing.
That's why Tiger was so good. Like he would play balls to the wall days 1 through 3. And then that final day, he'll be like, okay, I can play it safe because I got a 4-stroke lead.
Yeah.
Or a 5-stroke lead. You know what I mean? Like, don't take any unnecessary risks. You don't want to be in that situation.
You got to think that first day is just them saying, all right, let's make it today too.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, let's get a feel of the course. Let's figure this out. You know, let's not stress too much. We're just trying to get because most of the time the cut is at like not even. I would say like +2, +3.
Right.
The cuts was right at par, just scratch golfers.
Okay. So
that's also crazy to think setting cuts at even like plus 1 or +2 is a bad day for a golfer. Like that's
no,
ridiculous.
I lied. So this Thompson dude who it shows the first one cut or like the top guy cut, I guess, shot a 7. Was this going into the last day? Because it's showing 3 scores. Do they get to
you did not make the cut the last day, right?
Wait. Okay, scratch what I just said. Half of these guys played 3 days. I think all these guys played 3 days from what I'm saying. Except for one, like Hoffman. But 2 is 2 under.
Yeah. Interesting. I don't really know how the cuts work because I think they go day to day sometimes, and then other times it's like after the first or second day. I don't really know how that works.
That must have been. Oh, that was a withdrawal. It's probably COVID.
Oh yeah, that might be. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
But yeah, some of these guys did not shoot good at all.
Pebble Beach is a hard course, bro.
One dude shot at 81 on the first day.
Yeah, that's rough.
That is,
but congrats to Tom Hoagie, I would say. It's a good win. Had a good first day, and again, like when you have a good first day, then you can play just below average par and have a chance. So that's 63 on the first day. I would imagine is the par there a 72 or 71 or what?
I think it was 71.
I think it's 70. Is it 71?
I think so. I think that's what I saw earlier.
Let's see. So, let's see. Not 2, 2, 3, 4. It might be. I don't know. It's too late for me to be doing math.
Well, I will say that shooting an 8 or a 7 or 8 or a 9 under on the first day, that helps you up because he ended up winning with a 19 under. Then that, like, you're 3 under to 4 under the rest of the weekend and you win. So, I mean, the first day is important, but it's really how you want to play it, right? So if you want to be like, okay, I'm filling it out first round, then you can do that and then have a really good second, third day. Like he did, like Spieth did. Like Spieth had a great round 3. And then he was like, okay, I'm in position to win this thing.
So you think you would have thought Spieth had it after him riding that hot streak? You'd think like I just shot a 63. Like hell, I got this in the bag.
Like I don't think he had that bad of a day today. Like there were shots today where I was like, dude, like he is great. And he is a great golfer, dude. I like Jordan Spieth. I think he's a really good golfer.
His irons are so it's like him and Morikawa.
But it's like ever since that year where he won the 2 majors, he won the Masters, US or whatever championship.
I'm gonna be honest. I thought Spieth had it won. I don't know. It was hole 16 or 17. It was later. It was later in the round today, and it was a par 3. And he put a shot within like 5 yards of the hole, and I was like, yeah, he's about to win this thing because at the time he was still in first, I believe.
Yeah.
So
it might have been a thing where Hoagie was just unstoppable, but I mean, a 4 under for the day isn't unstoppable. That's a good day. I would think that's a great day. But still, like that, you don't think much of it because he was at 19 under. So 4 under today, I don't remember.
Man, that's a good day.
Yeah, it's still a really good day. I'm not even gonna say it wasn't, but like again, next weekend is the Waste Management Open. That one's in Phoenix at TPC Scottsdale, Arizona, wherever it is. And I like that course. I think it's kind of they got that one hole that's in the like stadium type deal, that par 3. I really like that hole. I can't remember if it's like 15 or 16 or something like that. But I think it's a really cool hole. But it is an interesting course. I used to play it all the time on the golf club, so I know that course pretty well. I think they have a pretty good lineup going into it. If I can check. What?
You know that course pretty well.
Yeah, I played
it. Wilkie could go out there and shoot a 5 under right now.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He knows
by the way, Pebble Beach is 72 par.
72. Okay.
So
I don't know where I thought it was 71.
The first day?
I was about to say, if it was 71, that makes it even more impressive. I mean, that's another 4 strokes right there. It's like he would really shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at some of the names here. Okay, this is a stat, by the way. You ready for this? You ready? In 6 of the past 7 years at the Waste Management Open, this event has went to playoff or was won by Brooks Koepka. How about that?
Brooks.
So Brooks probably won 1 of them, and the rest were just playoffs.
So here's some names that are that you are going to like these names. By the way, there are 17 players inside the top 30 of the world golf rankings. We have Jon Rahm, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Justin Thomas, Xander Schauffele, Hideki Matsuyama, Jordan Spieth, Louis Oosthuizen. I think that's how you say his name. I always can never say his name right. Daniel Berger, Sam Burns, Tony Finau, Brooks Koepka, Webb Simpson, Billy Horschel, and Matt Fitzpatrick, as well as Ricky Fowler. And so I'd say it's a pretty stacked tournament this weekend.
I didn't hear Kevin Kistner's name.
You did not hear Kistner's name.
So Berger's coming back off that back injury?
Berger is supposed to play.
Okay.
Also, let's see. It's a par 71, 7,261 yards. So there you go. Let's see the odds. So right now, Matsuyama is the favorite. So there you go. Matsuyama, apparently, of the people playing, has had the best career at TPC Scottsdale. So that's awesome. I like Hideki Matsuyama. I really do. He won Masters last year, right?
I know
that was Morikawa.
Morikawa won the U.S. Open or something.
Was it the Open? I thought he won the Masters.
Matsuyama. Yeah, Matsuyama won last year, April 11, 2021, because he was the first Japanese player to win. And that was the video of the dude, the caddy who bowed after he
That's
won.
right.
Kevin Kistner's in it. Kevin Kistner's in it.
Okay. I just look. I mean, what I saw, he wasn't on there.
He probably wasn't a headline.
No, he's not. But I mean, he's still one of my favorite golfers.
So y'all, I just saw what basically lost the lead for Spieth, and he missed an easy 5-foot putt.
Dang.
That's probably that par 3 I was talking about.
Yeah, because he ended up bogeying though. So.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always gonna like Matsuyama, but I think a guy, there's always gonna be somebody that comes out of nowhere that you don't expect. But I think one of my favorites, to go and win this thing. I really like Spieth, man. He would just get over the. He needs to. I'm not gonna say he haven't won one, but he needs to win one. I think the guy that I like, he played really good the last 2 weeks, is Patrick Cantlay. I don't see why he wouldn't be in the mix of it, to be honest. He had a great day today.
Last 2
yeah.
Right?
Yes, he had a great week last week. He had another good week this week. I mean, had a chance to win this week also. So Patrick Cantlay would be somebody to look out for personally.
Get over that hump.
Another guy I'd like to watch out for this year, which I don't think he's playing in this tournament this coming up weekend, but it's Will Zalatoris. He kind of had his breakout year last year. He's a really good golfer. I like watching him.
Yeah, he didn't play this weekend.
Yeah, he didn't. I wonder if he's
what was up with that.
He might.
I think didn't I say something about it last week? I think he had COVID, so he couldn't play in either tournament this weekend.
Yeah. I know he was in that last tournament though. Which one was it last week?
Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, he finished second in that one, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the one who went to the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Him and Luke List. Which, how did Luke List shoot today in the Saudi International? Do you know?
No clue.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, Will Zalatoris had COVID.
Which he might test. I mean, he might test negative and be able to play this weekend in Scottsdale. I would imagine.
Let's see here. So I'm looking for Luke List.
Unless he didn't play, he might not play.
I'm looking.
No, he's trying to make another baby.
Let's see here.
Um,
I'm looking at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. I don't see his name.
I'm looking at the Saudi International.
He didn't play.
Oh, Kevin Kisner played this weekend at the Pro-Am.
Wonder how he shot.
That's right.
He got cut.
I mean, there were a couple big names at the Invitational, but I mean,
so you said the par was 72 for whatchamacallit?
Kisner shot 2 over this weekend.
Yeah, it was 72.
Yeah, so he
had a bad day too.
Yeah, a 3 under day 1, and then shot a 4 over.
4 over.
That gone.
So, yeah. Yep. Well, that's really all for golf, I would think. I think it's gonna be a good tournament this weekend. There's a lot of names. We're kind of getting to that point, early in the year when you have these other tournaments, you might not see any big names, and some people might go over to Saudi or another tournament. But I think a lot of there's gonna be a lot of people at the WM Open this weekend. All right. I want to move on to NBA real quick. I want to talk about MVP candidates because there are some that I think are and I'm going to go ahead and talk about my favorite for this year so far. Hitch is going to like this one. Joel Embiid, dude, has been unreal. He's really one of the only reasons that Philadelphia is where they are right now because it really is not consistent. Tobias Harris has shot awful this year. And the only way he plays good is if Joel Embiid's not on the court. I think Maxey is good at times. I think Thibault is good at times. But the reason that this team is good at all is because Joel Embiid. Yeah. He was in the running last year. I think Jokic deserved it last year. But dude, like the man is a freak in the paint. The man is a freak overall. If they gave him, I wouldn't be surprised if they kept giving him Player of the Month just because like he is dominating. He's really good and he deserves it. He's averaging 29, 10, and 4.5. No, scratch that. He's averaging 29, 11, and 4.5 this year. Dude's absolutely nuts. So I think Joel Embiid deserves praise and rightfully so because he's
what I like about him this year is he's not taking those off days. He's playing night in and night out.
He has to.
That's what we haven't seen his whole career. And you can really see the effect it's having on the team because if he was out those games that he normally would have been out in, they would be 500 or below.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
And what about y'all's boy Ja in the top 5 now?
Ja is 100% top 5. I don't think there's any way around it. The Grizzlies are a good team. And Bond, I know, can argue all he wants about the Grizzlies are not that good of a team. That team is good. Top to bottom.
They are good.
Yeah. Players on
They're deep.
Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, Brandon Clark, John Conchar is good when he comes off the bench. Kyle Anderson, Dylan Brooks. I mean, you go list, they are good NBA players, right? Mm-hmm. Ja is at the helm of it all. Missing the 2 weeks hurts, I think, a little bit. But for the most part, I mean, without Ja, this team isn't really even on the map because they don't have a bunch of like a really good player to like stand out. Because let's say you do. Now, I'm not saying they would be a bad team without Ja because we saw them without Ja, and I'm pretty sure they went 7-1 without Ja. So
yeah, see that hurts them too. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously, in Ja's perspective, he's like, hell yeah, team picked it up, when I was out, but like, it shows that like it raises the question: how important is he actually to the team? Which obviously he is.
Yeah, he is. Also, I do want to add that it's not that Ja's just like flashy, right? And that's what teams love about him. And I'm not gonna say he has bad stats because he does have really good stats.
Yeah, he does.
He's a great player. He's a great young player. He's averaging 26.5, 6, and 7. I mean, that's pretty good. Third year. I think he should be mentioned in the MVP personally.
That's his career best for points, is it not? At the moment, 26.
Yeah, and he's grabbing rebounds. He's dishing the ball out. He does very good passing the ball. It helps with Steven Adams in the paint and guys like Dylan Brooks and Brandon Clark and Jaren Jackson who make shots. This team is good. Okay. I do think when the Warriors, the Suns, and the Jazz are all healthy, I think the Grizzlies are the 4th best team in the West. I think the Jazz are better when they're healthy and they have everybody playing. I think the Suns are better. I think the Warriors are better. And I know they beat them.
I think the Suns are the best team in the NBA. Yeah.
So I think the Grizzlies are a close 4th, but not to say because they're 4th. It's because the West is really good. They're top heavy. They have really good teams at the top. And I think that should be stated before the Grizzlies fans come at me and say, oh, we're the top team. We beat everybody. Because the last time you played the Jazz, Gobert and Donovan Mitchell didn't play. And Donovan Mitchell is a hell of a guard. And Rudy Gobert is one of the best centers in the league. So those two guys didn't play. I understand you beat the Warriors, and I understand you beat the Suns. I understand that. But I think in a playoff series, when it means a little bit more, I think that those teams are better right now. Now, not to say the Grizzlies won't, But the Grizzlies will be very comfortable at the 4 seed to play the 5 seed and not have to worry the first round that much.
I got a question. So if you're in the Grizzlies' perspective here, we got the trade deadline coming up fairly soon, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Do they go and try to pick up a piece?
Yeah, why not? Why not? Why don't you go get a really good 3?
Yeah.
Right now you're starting 3 is Kyle.
Not even necessarily like a really good 3.
A good.
I think
an average.
Yeah, I think you could get like probably like a 20 mil type contract guy, and that might be something that can put you over the hump. Yeah. Which, like we were talking about earlier, like for small forward though, it seems like the talent at that position this year is kind of slim.
Yeah, we have talked about that. And the other good 3s are in, long-term contracts.
Yeah.
So
can I say something about the odds though? How close they are with the top 4?
Oh yeah, I want to hear the top 4. Yeah.
Okay, so Embiid is the favorite plus 230 currently. Then Jokic followed very closely behind at 330.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis at plus 360, and Steph at plus 450. So that's a very, very, very close race.
I guess Ja and KD is because they miss a lot of games. By the way, I want to ensure
Ja's at plus 1,000, and then there's a big jump after that.
I do want to say KD for a minute. I know he's played 36 games. Now I don't know exactly how many games the NBA is at right now. I'd imagine around 40, probably.
They're past that.
They're 50 because
50,
40 and 9.
Like the Sixers have played 53 and the Bulls played 50. Yeah, they're on 53 games.
So unfortunately, KD has not played enough. I don't think.
That's 20 games.
Yeah.
So
he's 29 and a half, 7.5, and 6 basically, which is very good. But yeah, Giannis was another name I wanted to mention. The Bucks are so slept on. They're your reigning NBA champs. Like, what in the world, dude? Averaging 29, 11.5, and 6 for Giannis. Dude's great. And Giannis is likable. I don't think he wins it this year. Like, I just feel like, how does Joel Embiid not win it? He's also looked like he sat out about 10 games. How many has Joel Embiid played? Hold up, I'm here. He's played 40. I mean, I guess so.
That's 12. So 12 or 13 games he's missed.
So I mean, I can't really argue there. But was Joel hurt or no?
Yeah, he's had a couple nagging injuries, like a few day injuries.
I will say that Joel is shooting 49% from the field. So I say that's pretty good.
For a big man, not really, but with how much he shoots from the perimeter.
He drive at the rim every time. Let's be honest.
Exactly.
I will say that Giannis is shooting 53%. So.
Well, that's kind of a different situation though. Yeah. Kind of to the point. Like if you're shooting more close range shots, you're gonna be at a higher percentage. That's why you always see the big man up there in the 50s and 60 percentile.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's kind of the top guys right now. I think Joel's in the lead. Jokic is right there. I think he's until recently, like people forgot about him and didn't realize like he's still like one of the best players in the Western Conference. And they were like, oh yeah, well, whatever. We're gonna kind of overlook him, which I thought was weird. How do you look over him? It's Embiid, Jokic, and Giannis. Steph's shooting percentage, I think, has fallen, but he still had a pretty good year.
He had a couple weeks where he was on the struggle bus.
Yeah, but he's at 26, 5.5, and 6. So I don't know how he would even be up there, to be honest with you.
Can I say something real quick? So why is Jimmy Butler barely like top 15 in MVP?
Let's see. Jimmy Butler has played 35 games, so I would imagine the same reason as.
Okay. Okay, but then why is KD up there at like 8 or 9?
I didn't know how high it was. Also, Jimmy Butler is averaging 22, 6, and 6.
All I'm saying is ever since he went to the Heat, they've been right there at the
I
top.
understand. I'm not arguing. I'm just telling you his stats.
Which I do think they're one of those.
DeMar DeRozan's also somebody that's not up there. He's played 48 games, averaging 26 and a half, 5 and 5.
That was another name I was going to say because I've been paying attention to some of their stats because, they had, I don't know if it was COVID or just injuries. Levine was out for a while. Lonzo was out for a while.
Yeah.
That man was sitting there dropping like 30 bombs every night.
Yep.
It seems like every time I look up, like last night, he had 26 at the half.
Yeah.
It's like, how is he not higher?
Also,
how do you have LeBron above him?
I also want to mention something. This dude does not sit out. Okay. So in his career, 2012 and 2013, he played all 82 games. The next year he played 79. In 15 and 16, he played 78. The next year he played 74. The next year he played 80. The next year he played 77. And he's played 48 this year. I mean, that's pretty.
He's dependable, man.
I mean, he's going to be out there on the floor. I agree with you. I think it's a name that's kind of overlooked, but 26 and a half, 5 and 5, and the Bulls are winning. So.
And what's crazy is half their team was out for like a week and a half, and they're still sitting top 2 or 3 in the East.
Yep. 100%. 100%. All right. I think we're gonna start closing up this podcast. It's been about an hour. Avery, you weren't on the podcast when we talked about it. How much of the Clash at the Coliseum did you watch?
Most of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts because I already said my thoughts. I just want to hear yours real quick.
I thought I was gonna enjoy it because it's a quarter-mile track. There'd be as bad as it is to say there'd be a lot of wrecks, which for NASCAR it's kind of entertaining to watch those happen. But it was just very, very underwhelming. They're going maybe 60 miles an hour down a straight for about a second. They slow down, which I watch F1, so I'm used to going slow at some points, but there's no like competition into or out of the corners. It just, to me, it was a disaster. And then you have a halftime show at a NASCAR race for some reason. And then you can obviously tell no one really wanted to be there. You had Ice Cube performing. When was the last time you heard Ice Cube's music? So there was that. I just it was very underwhelming to me. So I was very disappointed.
Out of all the people to do like a halftime for NASCAR, I don't think Ice Cube would be the one would do.
Yeah.
I feel like some country artist.
I saw a tweet that somebody said that NASCAR just doesn't really know what it wants to be anymore. And I couldn't agree more, to be honest. They don't know who they want their fans to be. They don't know who their targeted audience is anymore. It's like they're lost. They're just trying to figure it all out again.
Yeah, I saw Blake Shelton in the booth. He was in the booth for the first of the race.
Mm-hmm.
I also saw the Grand Marshals, which was a very interesting group of people, which I didn't hate. It was Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, guys and people that kind of have a history in Southern California.
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, Misty May Trainer. It was a pretty cool list, and then the race happened, and it wasn't cool anymore.
My dad asked me before the race, which I want to double check this before I say it, but he asked me who I thought would win, and I asked him, I don't know, who do you think? And he's like, well, I don't know. I don't really know anybody that's driving anymore, which I told him Kurt and Kyle Busch are still going. He was like, are they really? But he said, or my final answer, I was like, I don't know. It would probably be the guy, whoever starts out in first, which if I'm not mistaken, that's who ended up winning, who was on pole for the race.
No, that Kyle Busch started first. But he did finish second. Joey Logano ended up winning.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I don't think Logano started.
What's his name?
Crashed or wrecked or did something to his car.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
He He said he broke one of his transaxles.
That's exactly. Yeah. 'Cause I saw that. That was in like the 50th lap or something.
Mm-hmm.
What was his name?
I'm trying to remember. Hang on. It's a number 8 car. I do know that. It was a number 8 car.
He has a name like that is not like, it's just kind of basic, I think. Patrick something?
Star.
How'd it go?
That wasn't petty, but
It was
thanks for assuming that, Wilkie.
I just thought.
Tyler Reddick. That's who it was.
Reddick.
Had it come forever.
Reddick, Patrick, it's kind of close.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Oh,
He started.
Hedigo didn't even do it back.
Patrick Reddick. No, Patrick Reddick started second, and he led 51 laps, completed 53, placed 21st because he wrecked.
Yeah, where did Logano start? Top 5?
He had to have. There's no way.
No way somebody like past him to win that race. I do not.
Oh no.
Guys, like if y'all didn't watch it, like y'all don't understand what we're talking about because it was like literally.
It was bad. Like it was not fun to watch whatsoever.
Not even NASCAR. Like I don't understand.
So, hang on, we might be wrong.
There's no way.
Chase Elliott started first. He wrecked out. I do know that. Tyler Reddick, who led 50-something laps, he started 6th.
Kyle Busch?
No.
Oh.
Tyler Reddick. Kyle Busch started 5th.
What? Oh. Well, who?
Where? Joe Logano.
What was this event called?
The Clash of the Coliseum. Joe Logano started 26th.
No.
And he won.
Wait, how many people raced?
I
thought 21 people raced.
Hang on. That was practice. Hang on.
Okay. I was about to say.
I'm trying to find. I typed in results. Oh, here we go. Joe
I'm not
Logano
gonna be
won.
disappointed by these highlights.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find like the qualifying lineup, like the starting grid, but it's hard to find.
Like a poll.
They need to have an all-star weekend for NASCAR.
They do.
They do.
Have like parallel parking and shit.
It's like they're just like bumping them up forward.
Who do y'all think the best parker in NASCAR is?
I'm gonna punch you in the face. Joe Logano
in NASCAR.
He started 4th, yeah. Kyle Busch was first. Tyler Reddick was second. Them two both crashed out. Joe Logano was 4th.
Yes.
And just to put it into perspective, if you guys didn't watch that race, the fastest lap was like a 13.3, like 13 seconds.
Oh my God.
So, also,
Bro, that's
which,
fast.
since I know you guys already talked about college basketball, I'm sure, but Memphis's class of 2022, their lone signee withdrawed his national letter of intent today. So they have if I'm reading this right, they do not have a single signee from the class of 2022.
Jesus Christ.
Because he was a 3-star. He officially signed, it says July, or he initially committed on July 4th of this past year. And then he joined Amar Knox and
Stanhouse students from Olive Branch.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Zacho Littleton, and then another dude with the last name Osborne. They all 3 ended up decommitting and going elsewhere. So Memphis basketball is now further in shambles.
Them and Auburn football have a lot in common right now then, huh?
But Penny Hardaway did come out and say he was going to lean more on the transfer portal and less on high school prospects, which I guess he's taking the Lane Kiffin approach. But I don't think it'll work out for Penny because Penny is Penny, and we've all seen that he's not a coach. He's a player.
Be a
was a
better
player.
coach if his name was Nickel.
Yeah.
Maybe quarter.
Penny, middle name Nickel, last name Dime.
He'd be elite if his name was Dollar.
Penny, Nickel, Dime.
Dollar
Right.
Hardaway.
Let's move on to basically wrapping this thing up. I know Avery just got in here, which I don't even know the podcast heard him get in there. But he's here and there. He heard him. Let's go to Dawgfight of the Week. We're gonna wrap this up. Start wrapping it up. Dawgfight of the Week, if you do not know what it is good matchups in any sport this upcoming week. Matchups that are a lot, or matchups that we think are going to be very good. And we know the Super Bowl is this weekend, so I know one of you are going to pick the Super Bowl. I'm not doing it. I got one sport that I'm doing, and there's two games that I'm looking at this week. The first one is tonight when you're listening to this. When y'all are listening to this, it's Monday. So Monday night, we have the Hurricanes and the Maple Leafs. The Hurricanes are 31-9 with 64 points. The Maple Leafs are 29-10. The Maple Leafs are very good at home. And the Hurricanes, I feel like, need a big road win. I bet on them a lot, and they win by 1.5 a lot. So I think the Hurricanes might go in there and win, but the Maple Leafs like playing at home, and it's in Toronto. So there you go. And Thursday is the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road at the Colorado Avalanche. The Lightning are 30-10-6. The Avalanche are 32-8-4. And those two teams are not in the same division, but the Avalanche and the Lightning are both at the top. And this is going to be like a shootout. I don't think there's going to be a lot of defense. The Avalanche like to score points. And of course, the Lightning have Nikita Kucherov and God, what's his name? I always forget his name. Patrick something. I can't remember. But yeah, there you go. Pedigo, Dawgfight of the Week.
All right, so I'm gonna go with two this week too. So the first one I'm gonna go with is Tuesday night, Auburn at Arkansas. Auburn just barely escaped Georgia this weekend, which was crazy. Because I mean, if you look at it now and put it into perspective, Auburn losing to Georgia in basketball is probably like Alabama losing to Vandy in football. So
not that bad.
It's like Alabama losing to, let's go with
A&M in football. Sure. No,
Okay, yeah.
A&M in football is better than Georgia at basketball.
Tennessee.
Yeah. Either way.
It's like State almost beating Alabama. That's what it's like.
Okay, fair.
Either way,
That's what it's like.
Auburn escaped with like a last-second shot, I think, to beat them by 2. And Arkansas is a little better basketball team than Georgia is, I'd assume. So I don't know if it was just Auburn going into that game and overlooking them or not, but I guess
That's
we'll
what
figure out.
Wilkie said last week.
Yeah.
What?
And I was like, no, it ain't going to matter, even if they have an off day, which I was right, technically.
I mean, they did win.
Yeah. So,
and then
they didn't cover, that's for sure.
No, they did not cover. What was the spread?
16.
I think it was like, oh no, that's a shambles right there. I would have turned that game off.
And then I'll go ahead and go my second game, and I'm gonna go with Texas and Baylor. Baylor at Texas this weekend. Baylor hadn't been playing the best basketball as of late, and Texas is a really good defensive basketball team.
Kansas beat the shit out of Baylor.
Yeah. Texas is also really good defensively, so I'd like to see what happens to that game Saturday.
Hammer the under. Yeah, because Baylor, I'm pretty sure, has a pretty good defense when they're not.
I mean, I say that, but every time I say something like that, it always ends up opposite. So,
all right, Hit, choose your Dawgfight of the week.
I'm going with the NBA here. I'm going to go with the Raptors and Hornets. The Raptors are looking for their 6th straight win. They don't pass the Hornets in the standings. They're up a game and a half, and this is going to be a big Eastern Conference matchup for them. And I'm going to stay in the Eastern Conference too in the second pick. Celtics and Nets. Nets lost 8 straight. Is that correct? Yeah.
Is it 8? Yeah, I saw something about that earlier.
The Nets are down to the 7th seed. KD and the Kyrie situation. KD's out. Kyrie situation. I don't even know what's going on with that. Harden stay today. They got the Celtics and they're gonna have to really nut up a few of these games.
Yeah.
They
Also-
think about the playoffs.
Because I kind of missed the NBA conversation. I hate to interrupt this, but so I saw something today that said the Nets were open to trade negotiations with James Harden. So
No, I
Yeah.
also saw today Steve Nash said
It's
he's
not
not
happening.
getting traded.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of rumors flying up there in Brooklyn.
A lot of mind games being played right now.
Yeah,
Yep, for sure.
he needs to go to the Sixers.
He can come to New York.
Nobody wants to go to New York.
No,
Shut
bro,
Why
y'all
would
got
he's already in
Tampa.
New York?
your
Stupid.
bitch.
It's
Shut
just
up.
in one of the boroughs, man. Come on.
All right, Avery, dog fight of the week. Who you got?
I have two. First one, gonna throw it over to our bruvs over there across the pond. I'm going with it's Wednesday at 1:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going with Tottenham and Southampton. Both of these teams are doing better than expected over their last 5. Tottenham is 3-2. Southampton is 3-1-1. I feel like that game is going to be really, really good. Also, my second pick, Lane said somebody's going to do it, so I guess I'm that somebody. The Super Bowl, Bengals, Rams. It's going to be a great game. Just watch those two teams go at it. I'm really excited. Just really happy it's not a Chiefs Bucks or even if it's just one of the teams. I'm just super happy that neither of them are in there. But I feel like that game's going to be really fun, really exciting to watch.
Oh yeah. Yep. Can't argue with that. Can't argue with that.
And I mean, we got Matt Stafford with the Rams and Eminem performing at halftime. It's really the closest Detroit's going to get to a Super Bowl. So
Can't argue there. All right. Let's move to dog watch of the week. Really, like this one was kind of tough for me because I wanted to do the Knicks. I think I'm just gonna end up going with the Knicks. The Knicks have a tough schedule this week, right? We play the Nuggets. We play let me look. But I do know we play the Nuggets on the road in Denver. We're not doing great right now. Julius Randle wants out, which I mean, we paid him a ton of money to do jack shit, right? He hadn't had the greatest year. We play on the road against the Jazz on Monday. On Wednesday, we are on the road in Denver. On Thursday, we are on the road at Golden State. On Saturday, we are on the road in Portland. So a pretty tough road stretch, I would say. And I'm going to have to go with RJ Barrett's been great, so I don't think he needs to be good. I kind of think that Evan Fournier needs to shoot lights out. The guy's playing the 2 right now, and Julius, I mean, I know whatever. We blew a lead against the Lakers last night. I just think Evan Fournier or Kemba Walker or Alec Burks, they got to shoot lights out. They got to have 20-plus. We're going to have a chance in any of these games. One of them's got to have a big week. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to happen, but I know one of them has to. RJ Barrett's been playing outstanding. I'm not complaining about him. But Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, somebody like that who can shoot the 3, needs to shoot the 3 consistently and be really good. I would say Mitchell Robinson too, but Mitchell Robinson's been an absolute beast in the paint. He played very well against the Grizzlies, and he did fairly well against the Lakers. So just one of those guys that shoots 3 consistently, needs to be big in this matchup. All right, Pedigo, go ahead.
Time out. Who was it that dunked on Mitchell Robinson like last night or the night before?
I don't know.
Oh, well, she did. Never mind. You go ahead, Pedigo.
RJ Barrett had 36. So
if we had a category named Dog Crap of the Week, I'd say we could put the Knicks in that category. I don't know why we're talking about them.
Fucking asshole.
All right, so mine's gonna be Karis LeVert for the Cavs. Just got traded. What was it?
He's over there.
Yeah, he just got traded. What, yesterday?
Yeah,
I thought he's been over there.
No, he just got traded to him like yesterday.
And with Indiana, correct?
That's right. He was with Indiana. That's what I was thinking of. Dang, that just blew my whole mind.
But I mean, you got a pretty hot Cavs team. I'm just curious to see how well he I guess, meshes with him and see if he kind of puts him over the top, which I know he's not. I mean, he's not like a top tier player, but I mean, he's a pretty good basketball player. So seeing how much he helps out that Cavs team going forward.
He's an elite scorer, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm gonna pick him for my dog watch. See if he can put them over the top the rest of the year.
Oh yeah, I like Garrett Levert. The Cavs are good too. Hitch, go ahead. Dog watch of the week.
I'm going with PGA on this one. We were talking about him earlier. Patrick Cantlay. I think he's riding a hot streak right now. I want to see him get over that hump this weekend.
Got to win, man.
He's got to.
And if it's not going to be till the Masters, then I want him to win the Masters. So,
yeah,
if he's let him finish top five, and then get him to Augusta, let him win there. So.
I just hope this isn't his peak. I want to see him. I want to see that peak. Him at the top. So
I like him. He's a very good golfer. Does everything pretty consistently.
Yeah.
All right, Avery, wrap us up. Send us home. Dog of the week or dog watch of the week.
I got two, and they both relate to the Super Bowl. I've got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. I think those two guys both need to have a big game if the Bengals are going to win their first Super Bowl since what, like the 80s?
They haven't won one.
They haven't won one?
Oh.
Okay. Well,
they hadn't made the playoffs since the 80s or 90s or something.
Won a playoff game.
Yeah, won a playoff game.
That's what I meant.
Thanks, Andy Dalton, for that streak.
That's what I meant. Anyways, Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, they both need to have a good game because if you're a competent defense or a competent defensive coordinator, you have to have Jamar Chase clamped for that entire game. So, the Rams do have a really good defense, and their defensive coordinator is pretty good. So I'm sure he's competent enough to have Jamar Chase as clamped as possible. So I feel Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins both need to step up and have a good game for them to be able to have a chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I would imagine.
I got a question. You got Jalen Ramsey. Do you worry about doubling Jamar?
Yes, I think so.
I don't think so. Because you're sacrificing. Because he obviously has shown the ability to go to T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So you're, in my opinion, your best shot is going 1-on-1 right there.
Jalen Ramsey is a top.
Let him prove why he is looked at as the top quarterback in the league.
A top 3 cornerback.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure, like 100%. Now you can mix in other guys in the top 3, but Jalen Ramsey will always be in the top 3. Dude's a lockdown.
And a great tackler.
Got to have him on Jamar Chase. I agree with Avery. I think both of those guys, one of them's got to be open. Uzoma going down hurts a lot. So yeah, I agree with Avery. That's who I said had to be big a couple weeks ago, right? And they were really big. They both have big quarters at certain times. All right. Well, that is our
episode. Hang on. Also, a little new, maybe a one-time segment. We'll see. A not dog of the week, a cat, if you will. Alvin Kamara got arrested earlier today for beating someone, I guess, within an inch of their life because they said substantial injury. Let's just hope and pray to God that it was a male. He's being booked.
It'd be canceled if it wasn't.
Yeah, he's being booked into the same jail as Henry Ruggs. So they're just both in there, longest yard type deal, hoping and praying that they'll get a quarterback and maybe they can beat the guards.
I feel bad for whoever they're having to play.
Yeah, so
I mean, if I had to play in that Pro Bowl today, I probably would have killed somebody too. So,
you gotta.
I mean, it was awful.
You got Henry Ruggs with this killer speed, just gonna straight torch somebody, and then you got Alvin Kamara with those big burly fists.
Channeling his inner Mike Tyson. So.
Yeah.
Incredible strength from Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. So I just felt like I should add that in because that was a pretty big deal, which I don't know if y'all said anything.
I mean, it's crazy to think about. This dude literally just come out of the Pro Bowl and decided to beat somebody's ass.
I mean, wouldn't you if you had to go out there and play two-hand touch like the little kids that played before you?
All of
Alvin-
that aggression he couldn't take out, so he
Alvin Kamara has
Tell the
no
guy
problem
to
being
pour.
physical in the Pro Bowl.
He had to go
God,
pummel
Lord,
someone.
Fuck that dude.
That's a good headline, Pettigo.
Oh my god.
You know, he was walking around with Cam Jordan. Alvin goes, I don't like the way that guy looked at me. And Cam's like, he didn't even look at you. And next thing you know, Alvin Kamara's on top of the guy just wailing on him.
Cam
Man.
Jordan like looks behind him. He's like, so you want to? Oh no. All right.
Two-hand touch on the field, UFC off. So
they were just trying to protect the players, but they couldn't protect innocent bystanders from the pure aggression that these guys wanted to let out.
You know, Alvin Kamara just wanted to run somebody over from the AFC, but he couldn't do it.
yeah.
Like, you know what? I want him
You're
over.
lucky. They're lucky he couldn't channel his inner Myles Garrett because he didn't have his helmet.
Right.
He just took his helmet there and just started beating the hell out of somebody that was sitting there with his helmet.
I want to know the context of this fight.
I would too as well.
Hopefully by Wednesday when we do our next, or Wednesday or Thursday when we do our next episode, we'll know more. I bet you Cam Jordan was there, and he was like, dude, I don't know what the hell happened. I turned around and he was on top of somebody beating his face.
I hope this dude has like a Twitter or something so he can just post pictures on it and be like, yeah, I'm the guy that Alvin Kamara absolutely pummeled.
I'm hoping
he's gonna sell the shit out of it. He's gonna try to sue his ass for everything.
I'm hoping it was just like a fan that was at the Pro Bowl watching it. And Kamara's done read all this shit about the Pro Bowl today about not being tackled and stuff. And the dude was making like a random joke, like, dude, you couldn't be tackled today. And he just beat the shit out of him.
He just had enough. That was probably like the 14th one he'd heard after the game. And he was like, you know what?
I know 100% that they were making jokes like the whole day. And then somebody just said it and he was like, no, fuck it. That's it. And just snapped.
he snapped, dude. That's it.
I love how we're laughing at the serious pain of this poor person.
Well, don't make jokes at Alvin Kamara.
Don't fuck with that guy.
We gotta go. All right.
I mean, this is a Pro Bowl football player. I just watched them not tackle each other for 4 quarters.
It sucks, man. I hate it here. What if Alvin Kamara wasn't even at the game and he just like was at the bar watching it with people? Man, this he just starts over. I was like, oh yeah,
that would make a lot more sense.
Just heard somebody talking crap about Cam Jordan. He's like, all right, for my dogs. He just started wailing on him.
I can't believe we talked about that for 5 minutes. All right, we're gonna end it there. We will see y'all later this week. I hope y'all have a good week, and we will see you next time on the Mad Dogs podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We love y'all. See y'all later. Had to go with you.
Bye.
Little something for y'all to sleep on. So it has come to my attention that there is no such thing as alcoholics. Alcoholics are just people that drink as much as us that we do not like, so we just call them that.
All right. End your week, okay? There's no such thing as alcoholics. So if you're drinking on the job, baby, you're not an alcoholic. Congratulations. We'll see y'all later.
Your coworkers just don't like you.